I'm gonna tell you exactly how to go viral with Instagram Reels and provide you with a framework that's gonna solve your biggest problem. And that's getting traffic on Instagram through Reels. And as most of my other videos, this video is inspired by questions I receive on Telegram, so if you have any questions, feel free to DM me and join my personal Telegram channel. Let's get into the video. So, everyone is trying to do Instagram Reels now, and if you haven't already started doing them, I would strongly encourage you to start. Because I always say in my videos that I am a big proponent of only doing one or two methods of traffic really good instead of doing all of them. So basically just specialize in a certain method instead of just throwing a wide net and trying to succeed in every method you do. And before we get into the exact framework, I believe it's extremely important to tell you this before we start. So I want to share with you a message I got the other day on Telegram. So a guy messaged me and told me that last year he was in the top 0.4 of all OnlyFans earners. It was 0 point something. I'm not sure if it was 0.4, might have been 0.3, 0.2, I don't know. And what I'm about to tell you, I hope you learn from this and don't make the same mistake as this guy. And if the guy that contacted me is watching this, hey, you probably know who you are. So this guy was making a lot of money doing only TikTok marketing, right? And you see this with many agencies. A year ago, they were printing money with TikTok. Then TikTok decides to roll out a new update, and now all of a sudden, you don't make as much money as you used to. And this is because you put all of your effort into just one method that is very, very unstable, and you hope it works out. And don't get me wrong, TikTok is amazing, but it is very, very short term. And so what happened to this guy is that TikTok stopped performing so well for him, and he started earning less and less money. And he just continued doing the exact same thing he was doing before, but the money just slowed down. So he was still doing TikTok marketing, but he went into 1.4 or 1.5 of OnlyFans earners in a couple of months. And so he was making twice as less money as he was before, but he was doing the same thing, and he didn't know what to do because TikTok wasn't bringing results anymore. And many agencies found themselves in that situation at some point, especially like a year ago. And I must admit, I made this same mistake myself, literally identical. So I've been doing GoFM for about 2 years, and in our first year of doing GoFM, I remember we grew a TikTok account to over 50k followers over a span of a few months. I'm not sure how long it was, 2 or 3. And because we thought like, hey, we can use that traffic and funnel it to our model, blah, blah, blah. And that is true, you can funnel it. Those 50k followers are good. But you can only funnel it if the account keeps growing and you keep on getting more short-term viewers that are new. And the problem is that before we could even start to utilize that account and funnel it somewhere, it got banned. And then we had wasted over 50k followers that could have been funneled and kept on Instagram, for example. But that taught us a very valuable lesson, which I will try to teach you in this video. And so many agencies make that same mistake, and that is because TikTok is very unstable and very short term. TikTok is not like Instagram where people can follow your posts, your stories, and constantly interact with you. The only way to get more views and followers is by going more and more viral. And if that stops, you don't have anything. Because most people follow hundreds of TikTok accounts, and if they stop seeing you on their For You page, they forget you exist. So you cannot use that traffic anymore, but if that traffic is on Instagram, they can constantly see you and get more of you. And that's why TikTok and Instagram work so well together, because TikToks allows us to get an audience quickly and captures people's short-term attention. And then we capture the power of that short-term attention and convert it to long-term attention using Instagram. So Instagram should be treated as your main platform. That's the place all of your potential leads will be funneled to, and that's the place where you should take care of your leads and convert them to subs. Now, let's talk about how to do that. Now we get into the fun part, and that is how do we grow your Instagram and how can you make money from it, most importantly. The short answer is, of course, with Reels. Now, let's expand on that. So a simple rule you should follow with Reels is that you should aim for quality over quantity, and every single time I say something like this, people nod their head and are like, yeah, I gotta make good content. And then they just tell their model to recreate a dance while they just stand there. And I'm dead serious now. They just stand there with a deadpan stare in their eyes, no smile, no personality, like zero personality behind them. And then they're surprised that that content doesn't go viral. Now, let me help you create better content. So I believe there are two things you should focus on when it comes to creating good content. And at the same time, I believe these two things are the biggest mistakes people make. And these mistakes stop them from growing. Let's discuss what those mistakes are. The first one is that you fail to entertain and engage effectively. Now, this sounds simple, but there are steps you need to take to master it and fully understand it. The problem is that most of your content is absolutely boring. It doesn't engage the audience and it isn't special in any way. For example, I have a very unique experience with this because people often send me their models' content. And my goodness, the amount of terrible content I see. For example, I see a random Ukrainian chick that's extremely good looking, has so much potential, but the content is terrible. Because her agency told her to just recreate a dance and that's it. And then you wonder why you don't go viral like in the video. She had no smile, no personality, no face expressions. She looked absolutely miserable. And the camera quality was also terrible, right? And so she just stares at the camera, looks depressed, and moves her hips and does a little trendy dance. That isn't viral content. You need better SOPs if you want to go viral and get more traffic. So standard operating protocols. So you have to tell your model exactly how to recreate the video. Hook them in the beginning, smile, be playful, have fun, wink at the camera a little, have something interesting going on in the background. There's so many things you can do. But instead of doing any of that, you just tell your model, yeah, do a dance. It's just lazy and it doesn't get views. And now the second thing I want to mention, and this is extremely important, is forgetting to reward your viewers by making the content worth watching until the end. This is the second thing many people overlook, and it's extremely important. And now when I say this, again, most of you think of that trend on TikTok, like where you say, wait for it, like Mr. Loba Loba trend, and then you show an extremely sexual picture of your model for like 0.1 seconds. And that is an example, but I want to expand your view on this and take it a bit further. That isn't the only way to reward your viewer. People watch your content depending on the amount of dopamine you provide them. The dopamine level is very high when you really want a sexy picture of a girl, so you have to play a game where you have to stop the screen at exactly one frame. So the picture is shown for one frame and you have to stop it exactly there. And that provides the viewer with dopamine, trying to catch that one frame. And again, that trend is an example, but you have to reverse engineer this. You have to ask yourself, how can I reward the viewer for watching till the end? What kind of dopamine can I give him? And what you can do, for example, is this, because you can't exactly post just videos where you show a semi-naked picture of yourself at the end of each video. And so what you can do, for example, is if your model has big boobs, you can record a normal good piece of content as you usually would, but at the end, you can slightly shake the boobs a bit or just be slightly more sexual in general. So the last second of the video should be a reward. They watch for 6 seconds, for example, and then they see your boobs shake for 1 second. And they want to replay the video multiple times to catch the perfect timing where your boobs jiggle. Right? It sounds funny, but it's true. The same goes if your main marketing point is your butt, for example. Let's say you record yourself doing a dance with fun face expressions and moving your hips, and in the last 1 or 2 seconds, you turn around and show a bit of your ass. That's the part where you tease and be a little bit more sexy. And when you do that, on a long enough time frame, and do it like in every video, people know exactly what to expect. So for example, why do people like McDonald's? Because it's always the same. You know what you can expect. You're gonna go in there, you're gonna get the same cheeseburger in pretty much every country. So people like to know what they can expect, and when you reward your viewers at the end of each video, they will always watch until the end and replay it because they know what's coming. A reward fueled with dopamine is coming for them because they want to see you shake it. Now, let's extract this into a framework. First, you hook the audience, so capture their attention in the first 0.5 seconds with like intriguing actions. Again, be good looking, have something going on in the background, fun face expressions. You just gotta look happy, right? And then you retain the viewer. Be attractive, look happy, have fun, keep them engaged with interesting and constant action going on. And then at the end of the video, you provide a satisfying payoff to increase watch time and encourage the viewer to replay your video. And I always say this, and I'm going to repeat it again. Get good at copying others. Most of you know this, but you do it really bad. Like, you just tell your model, yeah, this is a good example. So let's say you're even good at recreating content. You found a model that's really good to your model. The content has been proven to go viral, and now you give that content to your model. And you just tell her, recreate this video. That is not the way to do it. You have to tell her exactly what to recreate step by step. So you can't just tell her, copy this. You have to tell her, look, this is when you should smile. This is how you should look. This is when you should wink at the camera. Now you should do this, etc. You have to explain the video and explain to your model why that video is good. And then with time, you will develop a habit of understanding why successful content works, and your model will also understand it so she can perform better and make better content. It's like everything in life. The longer you do it, the better you become at it. That is all.